Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hubbard Guide on making the most of the Career and Internship Fair. Here in the Hubbard Center, we have put together these presentations that go more in depth on specific topics that relate to our services. Let's get started. In this guide, we'll be focusing on 6 things surrounding what to do before, during, and after the career fair, such as prepping your resume, researching who you're speaking with, presenting yourself, specifically through your appearance, crafting your elevator pitch, what questions you can ask, and following up with the people you spoke to. We're going to go ahead and start with prepping your resume. Before the fair, you'll want to revise your resume and have a few copies printed for the event. The most important updates you may need to make are your skills and experiences. If you've done or started something recently that would be a good addition to your resume, add it. One example would be if you've received training in something like, let's say, CPR certification, and it's relevant to your desired field, or if you were recently voted in for an executive position in your organization, or something of the sort, add that as well. Maintaining an updated resume is essential because you don't want to leave out an experience, certification, skill, or anything else that may be the thing that pushes you ahead in the hiring process. If you ever need help with reviewing your resume, or if you need help starting your resume, you can always make an appointment with one of our staff members. Now it's time to research the employers. When the date of the career fair is announced, you'll be able to see a list of participating employers on Handshake. Make sure to check it out and choose companies that seem interesting and that you'd really like to talk with. Once you've picked out some organizations, research them. Look at their website for things like their mission, what they do, company locations, competitors. This will help impress the person you're talking to because it shows you took the initiative to learn more. You can also find sources that talk about the employer and their recent awards, product or service milestones, or anything else that could be beneficial to know. Another thing to check out is their current opportunities. This way you'll be able to ask them about them and discuss how your experience fits into these roles. Finally, a great resource for learning about employers is LinkedIn. Be sure to connect with the representatives on there or anyone else from the company to further prove your interest. Let's move on to appearance. You want to present yourself in the best way that you can. One of those ways is by looking professional and clean. The best kind of attire to wear is business casual or business formal. However, if you're in a situation where you're coming from somewhere on campus where you can't dress up, be sure to address it when you're talking to employers. You can simply apologize by saying, "I am sorry for not being able to be dressed more appropriately for the occasion. I've just come from insert whatever you were doing previously, such as sports practice, work, etc." Acknowledging it shows you didn't just choose to dress in a t-shirt and shorts rather than business attire. If you're wanting to wear makeup, be sure the colors are neutral and don't overdo it. The best colors to wear are neutral or dark colors such as tan, brown, black, navy blue, maroon, etc. However, adding pops of color through your shoes, a tie, or any other small pieces can also show your personality and uniqueness. There are also things you'll want to avoid wearing. Avoid strong scents. Some people you talk to may be sensitive to smells, so if you want to wear perfume or cologne, be sure it's a very soft scent, but I recommend just be clean and wear deodorant. Avoid revealing clothing. This one may seem obvious, but revealing clothing can give off a very bad impression in a professional setting. If you're wearing a skirt or a dress, be sure it's not too short. Credit card length above the knee is a general good rule of thumb for the minimum length. If you're wearing a button-up shirt, make sure you button it all the way. Avoid excessive jewelry or accessories. You don't want your accessories to distract the employer from what you're saying. That is why simple pieces are the way to go. Finally, be sure to remember that it is way better to be overdressed than underdressed when it comes to your job or internship search. Elevator pitches play a big role in career and internship fairs, and crafting one has 3 parts. Who are you? What skills do you have, and what things do you do? And how can you help their company? These are all things to include in your pitch. Be sure to keep it relevant and to your most recent experience, and try to make it stand out by bringing up some unique qualities. Asking questions during the career fair can really show your interest in the employer. There are lots of questions you can ask, but be sure to prioritize which ones you are really wanting the answer to, because career fair conversations can be rather quick. To break it down, we've put our examples into categories based on what they're about. You can ask about a specific role, about the hiring process, about their experience, and about the company. If none of these questions that we have listed are really what you're thinking about or looking for, but you can't come up with any on your own, there are plenty of resources online that can give you ideas. Simply type in questions to ask at a career fair, and resources from Indeed and other places will pop up. After the fair, you'll want to follow up with the people you talked to. Now, remember, not every conversation you have will lead to an interview. Maybe you just aren't the right fit for that moment or that position. Accept it gracefully, but if the company still interests you, ask to follow up in a few months. Another thing you can do after the fair is send a personalized email within 24 to 48 hours of the conversation. If they have a business card, be sure to grab that to remember their information. Thank them for talking to you, express your continued interest, and reference any relevant or memorable parts of your conversation. That is all for this presentation on making the most of the Career and Internship Fair. I hope you found it helpful, and we hope to see you there. Bye.